So all in all, our territory is full with resources. That's a well-known fact that Russia is quite rich in energy resources. We are, together with Saudi Arabia, the biggest world oil exporter, and we hold the second position in the world on gas production after the USA. We used to be the #1 before the shale revolution in the USA happened, but after the shale revolution increased dramatically the production of gas within the USA, Russia now shares the second place in the terms of natural gas production, and at the same time we still hold the first place in the world as natural gas exporter. And there are a lot of other valuable resources located on the Russian territory. I would not, of course, reproduce the whole list of those resources, but just one example, one more example, the example of uranium. Uranium is extremely important for nuclear industries, and you can see on the slide the figures that for the year 2014, uranium extraction in Russia reached a record of 3,000 tons. Russia holds the third place in the world on deposits of uranium. You can see here the figure, how many deposits are there, and those deposits are sufficient, according to specialists, those deposits are sufficient to ensure supplies of raw materials for decades ahead, not for years, but for decades ahead. We have all the benefits of having this valuable resource as well, not only oil and gas. To draw the conclusion of the importance of the territory with all of the resources based on this territory as an economic asset, I can provide you with one figure which is rarely can be found. We have something like 20,000 industrially significant fields of natural resources based on the territory of the Russian Federation. Just imagine, 20,000 industrially significant, which means that they are important fields of natural resources where substantive large amounts of resources can be extracted from those fields. And only roughly a third of them are industrially developed. So just imagine, 2/3 of the basic fields of natural resources are not being developed so far on the territory of the Russian Federation. While the world is starving without resources, everybody needs energy resources, uranium resources, and all other resources for their economies to run with, but Russia can sit on those resources, having the privilege of not exploiting as much as 2/3 of resources. Which great economic potential we have ahead of us for future generations. Nearly all existing mineral resources are available on the territory of the Russian Federation. So the potential is really huge. It's immense. It's beyond belief. But that's, again, as usual, that's on one hand. On the other hand, that could reflect the inefficiency of Russian economy. If we exploit only 1/3 of the natural resources, that means probably something wrong is happening within the national economy. That probably there is a lack of financial resources to explore them, or there's a lack of labor force to extract them. So something is missing, because if the world needs those natural resources, it's probably high time to develop them. So we will talk about that in detail while we will talk about the current problems and issues of the national economic development, that's for sure.